Welcome to Ballaholics, the show for those who simply can't get enough about basketball. We have a lot to talk about: the NBA, the NFL, the Super Bowl. So we'll start with it. The NBA. A lot of stuff has happened recently, Sam. I noticed you're retired. Do you have any kind of thoughts with the recent KP trade? Oh shit!
See this Porzingis jersey right here? Put this shit right in the trash.
Oh my god!
You know what? You know what jersey I'm wearing right now? I'm wearing Carmelo Anthony's jersey. You know why?
Carmelo?
Because now that I've seen what happened with KP, this entire thing with KP, requesting a trade to get out of New York, I am fully appreciating Carmelo Anthony and what he has done, being in the New York Knicks. Getting traded to the New York Knicks, 2010, he gave the city all he had. He never tried taking the easy way out. When times got tough, he didn't ask for a trade. He didn't go to the organization and try and get out. No, he did not. You know what he tried to do? He tried to win. He tried to recruit free agents. He did his best. He tried to lure LeBron James. He tried. He did.
He did try.
He did try. And he gave everything he had. From the team president, Phil Jackson, talking so much smack about him, when he's playing. Carmelo Anthony hasn't said one bad thing about New York. Porzingis, you're in New York for 2 years? You played 2 seasons in New York, and you already think that you have the audacity to ask for a trade. Who do you think that you are? Who do you think that you are to ask for a trade out of New York City?
So you don't like the trade?
Look, I'm gonna say this right now. I'm gonna get to the Knicks later because I'm a Knicks fan right now. But listen, I am taking applications for new teams right now.
Oh.
But we're gonna get to that. So I'm saying right now, Porzingis had absolutely no right to ask for a trade.
But he was unhappy. He wanted out. What about that? Porzingis wanted it out?
Can't win. It's also, listen, I guess not everyone's fit to play in New York. You gotta have that New York City mindset. Porzingis obviously didn't have that. Now look, I could be wrong. Porzingis did post on his Instagram story, he said, the truth will come out.
Yeah.
So maybe there's something that we don't know about. So one of those things I'm thinking about, it could be with the contract. So obviously Porzingis, we could have offered him an extension at the beginning of the season, and he didn't take that. He didn't take the extension. We never offered it to him because we wanted to, have room to sign big-time free agents such as Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
So,
I heard a different rumor. I heard that people were saying that he was actually not injured anymore, but the Knicks wanted to commit to the tank, and they chose to sit him instead.
What was I saying? That could be true too. Sorry, I'm gonna get back to my point because I keep trying to talk and I keep getting headaches just thinking about what the Knicks have done. But also, maybe the Knicks didn't want to offer him the contract extension, which would, because they could have offered him the maximum deal of 5 years. Maybe the Knicks weren't ready to give him that max deal, and maybe that's what led the Porzingis demand for the trade. If that's the truth, then Porzingis, I owe you a major apology. I owe you a major apology. But this is just because you want to get out of New York City because you can't play for a year and a half and you think that you can ask for a trade.
It's ridiculous.
And wait. You want to say something? Because I can go on and on. I want to do a chance to talk.
To be honest, the whole Porzingis thing is kind of crazy. First of all, the whole thing I thought came out of nowhere. I thought Porzingis was happy in New York. And then all of a sudden, within an hour, he's just like, I don't like it here, I don't want to be here, and he gets traded like that. I was surprised it even happened that quickly. I was surprised with everything. I think, Porzingis is a star player and everything like that, but this is setting a bad precedent in the NBA, where star players are just demanding to leave, and they just go.
So look, I'm getting mad at Porzingis for, asking for that trade. But even worse, the New York Knicks organization, they even tried and trade him. You listened to his request. You listened to Kristaps Porzingis' request because you think that you could sign maximum free agents. Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. You definitely made Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving want to sign by trading away your young franchise cornerstone player. You know what? Now that you traded Porzingis, now I'm going to consider the Knicks even more.
Oh, man. It sets such a bad precedent. KD, he likes loyalty. What is he going to do when he goes to New York and they're going to switch on him if he gets injured? Or he even knows what happens.
Did you ever see Dirk Nowitzki? You ever see the Dallas Mavericks trade Dirk Nowitzki for star players?
They stay,
and this is why I even was even more because, look, I've been a Knicks fan, for a while now. And, when Steve Mills and, Scott Perry came in, they were saying, we're going to do this the right way. We're going to build this team the right way. We're going to, draft young players. We're going to make New York an attractable, free agent destination.
Yeah.
And I all started with Porzingis. Kristaps Porzingis was the identity of the New York Knicks. He was the future. He was the unicorn. He's what made New York. He's what made New York special.
Yeah,
people want to, the fans too. You know, he was a fan favorite. You know, those putback dunks against Toronto, Cleveland, his first rookie season. Yeah. You know, he booted, but then he got better. He really did epitomize New York though. Yeah. So like I really thought that
he loved it. I mean, it seemed like he really came.
He could have been a future leader for this team, and you know, but look, you're gonna get frustrated as a player. You know, with the team, where the direction's going. But as a GM, you cannot trade him. You gotta tell Porzingis. You gotta say another year. Look, like right now, we're not looking good right now. However, we're building young players right now. We have the NBA draft coming up. Here's some Duke highlights with Zion Williamson. He could be your future teammate. Well, guess what, Porzingis? We have a ton of cap space. We could sign, you know, maximum free agent. You could sign Kevin Durant. You know, so next season you can be playing with Kevin Durant, Zion Williamson, Kevin Knox, Mitchell Robinson are gonna get better. So that was the appropriate response I was looking for with the GM to talk to Porzingis. Because obviously, if I'm Porzingis, I'm also wondering, you know, what's going on? You know, I need a plan. Yeah. But instead of New York offering a plan to give him, instead they said, you know what?
Fine.
Leave.
They took the easy way out on that. I mean,
so the Knicks have basically been saying, you know, Steve Mills saying, yeah, we're going to build young players, we're going to do it the right way. But instead, now you're actually skipping steps, which you said you weren't going to do by trading away Porzingis, and now, yeah, you're opening up, you know, 2 maximum free agency spots.
If anyone wants to come anymore.
And where's the core? Where's the young core?
Yeah, they have no
skipping steps. Skipping steps.
You know, it sucks because the Knicks were in such a good position. I mean, they were going to get a high draft pick in this stacked draft class. They had KP coming back from injury. They had Kevin Knox developing. And then they still had room for a free agent spot, so, a max spot. So I thought they were doing so good. And then this KP trade happened, and it looks like it derailed their entire plan. I mean, they could have got Kyrie next year, and who knows what would have happened.
Again, with the continuity, like, you know, the Knicks actually haven't had a draft pick signed to their second deal in 24 years. 24 years. A rookie to a second deal. That's so common in the NBA, but the Knicks don't know how to do that. The Knicks will trade away all their young players. They've been doing it, you know, since James Dolan took over. Yeah. They always do that, and they're not learning from their mistakes. So as a Knicks fan, I'm very frustrated right now. I'm taking applications for a new team. You guys have any ideas, you let me know. You hit me up.
Hey, join the Lakers bandwagon.
So, obviously the Knicks, you know, trading away they get 2 first-round picks now, and they get Dennis Smith Jr., who on the bright side, he's pretty good.
He is pretty good, you know.
But I want to ask you, like, what do you think of the Dallas Mavericks now? Like,
oh my God, I think the Dallas Mavericks made an amazing trade by this. I mean,
so they're a winner. So we have winners and losers. The New York Knicks are a loser for me.
Yes.
Now I want to do the winners for you.
Okay, I think unfortunately the Knicks did lose out, but on the other side, the Mavs. I mean, they did the right move. I mean, oh my God, getting Luka Doncic and having help with Porzingis is just absolutely ridiculous. I'm super excited to see the pick and roll with Porzingis and Doncic. I mean, Doncic, 19, he's such a young player. To surround him around that kind of talent, it's amazing. You know, I think that they're really showing that the Mavericks, they want to win now, and they're not afraid to make moves. They're not afraid to make moves. I mean, the West is stacked. You still got the Warriors and stuff, but despite that, they're still saying, hey, we're still going to go for the playoffs. We're still going to go for it. And I think it's a great kind of culture for Luka, you know? I mean, being around a winning culture, having the vets, having Dirk. I mean, you can talk about Dirk having his kind of influence on Porzingis. I think he'll teach him a lot. I think he has a lot to learn from him, you know?
But to me, like, unfortunately, I have to say Kristaps Porzingis himself is a winner because you're in this New York Knicks organization. You see how dysfunctional they are. This just shows how dysfunctional they are. And now you go to a stable organization. You go to a great culture there with Mark Cuban at the helm as the owner. And that team really runs smoothly. You know, you got Rick Carlisle. Now you have, you know, you want to learn from Dirk Nowitzki. Porzingis' game is just like Dirk Nowitzki's game. And now you have Dirk Nowitzki, you have your mentor, for someone who you look up to, and you get to play with him. You get to go you get to play 82 games with him.
That's awesome.
I don't know 82 for next season, but if Dirk Nowitzki stays, you get to play 82 games. Every day you are around Dirk Nowitzki to see what he does, how he handles his life, daily life, what he does, what he eats, what he, you know, when he sleeps, when he does all this stuff. So that's useful. And then of course you pair Porzingis with Luka Doncic, and it's such a young team. Such a young team. So the Warriors are good, obviously, but in the future, the Mavericks are going to be a team, you know, to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I think in 3 or 4 years we'll really start talking about them as potential title contenders or maybe Western Conference Finals contenders. I mean, they'll be really good in a few years, and it's a perfect time frame. Who knows? Maybe the Warriors have broken up by then, you know? So I think Mavericks made a great trade, and I think they made the right move. And I think they had a clear winner. They didn't even give up too much. I mean, Dennis Smith wasn't even happy there. I think he was upset with Luka's kind of bigger role, and he had a diminished role. He wasn't even that happy there. So, in a way, I feel like they got away with murder, but we'll see what happens in the future. KP is a very amazing player. Almost underrated at this point because of his injury concerns. So I think
look, he has that problem with, like, you know, it's called anemia, like how you play in the beginning of the season and towards the end of the season he loses a lot of fatigue. And also he's coming off an ACL tear. So to be fair, maybe the Knicks are geniuses. Maybe they know something we don't know. Maybe they know that Porzingis is not going to be the same player. Or maybe they know that Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving, for some reason, they were like, yo, we're coming to New York, but you got to get rid of your franchise player. Or maybe, what my conspiracy theory is, I think that, you know, maybe Steve Mills and Scott Perry maybe got gun pointed. And they were like, yo, you gotta trade Porzingis. Because that's like, why would you make that trade? I mean,
the only reason I can see them making the trade is if they wanted to tank. But you don't like lose your best player just to tank. You know, so I think overall they didn't make the right move.
Okay. On that note, let's get to the next segment. Let's get to Anthony Davis. Because if you guys haven't heard already, Anthony Davis has requested a trade out of New Orleans. He wants out.
Yeah, he said, I'm done.
So I want to ask you something. Do you think, first off, do you think Anthony Davis even has the right to ask for a trade? Okay,
so we just talked about Porzingis. Does he have the right to demand a trade? We said no, but I think the situation is different for Anthony Davis. I'm not being a hypocrite. Now listen, Anthony Davis had the right because he stayed 7 or 8 years there, and where did they go? They went to the playoffs one time, and then they lost in the second round. I mean, I think Anthony Davis is a superstar level player, one of the top 10 players in the game, maybe even top 7, who knows, top 5 possibly. I think he has a right to. The New Orleans Pelicans, not a great front office. They could do a lot more to surround him with help. And to be honest, he spent his time there, and he's going to go into his prime. He wants to win rings, you know? And this, you know, ring kind of era where everyone cares about championships only, I think he has a right to go and chase that, you know? So, what are your thoughts on that?
Honestly, bro, I have to disagree with you. I think, you know, Anthony Davis puts up great stats, and that's only, you know, being there for 6-7 years, and the fact that you can only, you know, this team went to the playoffs only twice, and maybe last season got, you know, past the Portland Trailblazers. That was the first time. And you're saying that he's not really surrounded with talent, but he is, though. Drew Holiday, low-key, averaging 20 points, 9 assists, 54%, sorry, not 54%, 8 assists.
Wow, those are good numbers.
Those are good numbers. Drew Holiday right there. Good second option. They got Julius Randle this season. He's having 20 points a career year with 9 assists. 9 assists. No, Julius Randle. That's not right. 9 rebounds probably. And look, Jahlil Okafor's been amazing too.
Yeah, he's been a lot better.
Okay, let's get to the big picture.
Okay.
First off, you haven't led your team to shit. Okay. They put you in the same category. We like to put you in the same category as Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, Kevin Durant. And the difference is between you and those players is that you haven't done crap for your team. You have not done anything. You cannot lead a team. You cannot lead a team. He has plenty of players. I just named a bunch.
Insane.
Drew Holiday, Julius Randle. He has a bunch of players around him, and he still can't do anything.
What's the stats?
Would you rather have Anthony Davis and Drew Holiday, or Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum?
I'd rather have Anthony Davis
and Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
Portland's bench is better than New Orleans. Look. I feel like Anthony Davis and Drew Holiday, you said it better. On paper, it looks like they're better than Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. But Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum have so much more wins.
They swept them.
Okay, but look at the record right now in the NBA standings. The Portland Trailblazers are the 3rd or 4th seed, and the New Orleans Pelicans are the 13th seed.
I mean, they are under expectations. Okay. I will say that. I agree with that. So
that's my first issue. The first issue is you can't even lead a team. Okay. My second issue is you have the audacity to go to request one team.
Oh, we
go to one team. Yeah. I understand, you know, players aren't happy, you know, fine, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You know, you're a good player, you know, you want to go somewhere else. I can respect that. But then you hire, you know, you have to hire the same agent, you got to hire Rich Paul, and then you got to say, it's Lakers or nothing. You can't just request one team in this NBA. You don't have that power. Maybe in free agency you get to choose where you go, but that's unfair for the league. That is unfair to try and request to only go to one team. At least have like 3 or 4 teams. Make it easy on New Orleans. And then you're going to devalue your trade value by saying, yeah, I'm only going to the Lakers. Just because you and LeBron have the same agent as Rich Paul, I don't care. I don't care. That is not right.
You know, I disagree 100%. You know, I mean, Rich Paul, he's a kind of skeezy guy. I mean, who really knows with that guy? But at the same time, he wants to play for the Lakers. Let him play for the Lakers, you know? He sacrificed so many years on the Pelicans. He wants to play on a good team, and I have no problem with that, you know? And I think he's tanking his trade value in a way that the Lakers have to give up less. So when he goes there, they're a better team. I really think that's what's happening. Look. I mean, he could have just I'm not sure. I mean, Anthony Davis, I think some of that caliber, it has a right to do that, you know?
Well, look, I'm not saying he's not bad. He's not, you know, he's a great player, but I don't believe he has proven to me that he is a top tier player. I think he's an all-star. But to be a superstar, you have to be able to lead your team and affect your team wins. And someone like James Harden and Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant and LeBron James, I have seen that. And I have not seen the same of Anthony Davis. Hasn't gotten to a top 5 seed in the West.
But Sam,
I haven't seen that yet.
You know why this is true. You know that, right? You know that this is because centers have less impact than ball handlers. Ball handlers have to give centers the ball. And you could be a dominant center,
exactly.
But you won't be able to do much. I mean, look at Boogie Cousins when he was on the Kings. He was a great player, probably the best center in the league, but he couldn't even lead them to the playoffs half the time, you know? And the whole thing is, as a center, you can only do so much. It's kind of the way that basketball is oriented at this point.
So he's less value then. So he's good for his position, maybe the best, power forward center in his position.
Yeah.
But as far as an overall standpoint, I don't know if I can put him in the same category as Steph Curry, James Harden, because he can't affect the use, as you said. He's a center and he can't affect the game like guards can. Because in today's NBA, very fast paced. Centers, like you said, don't have
need
much
the
effect.
ball. Yeah.
So that's why I don't put him in that same category. I do think that I'm gonna get to that later.
Okay.
Let me ask you something else. Okay. So obviously the Pelicans are listening to offers. The Lakers are trying to offer them this massive package.
Yeah.
They got Ingram and Kuzma.
They're trading the farm.
And listen, are you trading? If you're at New Orleans, if you are with Dempsey, you're Dell Dempsey.
Yeah.
Are you listening? Are you trying to trade Anthony Davis before the trade deadline, or are you trying to wait for later on?
That's a good question.
Off-season.
See, if I'm the Lakers, you hope that they take the trade now. But like you said, and the Pelicans' point of view, I definitely wait. I mean, you could wait and then you could create a bidding war. Not even between just the Celtics. I heard the Raptors even kind of want in on this stuff. Every team is going to be making some kind of package for Anthony Davis. So I think that their best move is to wait until free agency. Lots of free agency moves are going to be happening, and they don't have to listen to just the Lakers. I mean, even if they want to go for the Lakers package, ideally, people bid up the Lakers, and then now the Lakers have to offer even more. Maybe an extra pick, maybe an extra player, maybe Josh Harden there somewhere. So I think that the best move is totally to wait for the Pelicans. But I've heard some things that, even for next season, if Anthony Davis is not going to get traded, they're just going to sit him. So I think they're honestly doing the right move. They're saying, listen, from their point of view, our star player saying you want out, you're not going to get bullied by your star player. You have to show respect as the front office. Yeah. And they're showing that we have respect for ourselves and we're not going to let you toy us around. I think that's the right move on their part.
Look, it sounds like what you're saying, it sounds good. My only problem is I don't think that New Orleans is going to get a better offer than what the Lakers have to offer, just because teams are going to be hesitant to actually, do a trade. Because Anthony Davis right now is saying that he is only going to stay there for a year and then he's going to bolt to the Lakers.
That's true.
So you have to be very careful. And I feel like with the Lakers, you have a lot of young players in that. You got Kyle Kuzma. You can pry away Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram. I know Lonzo Ball said he didn't want to play there, but you trade with Drew Holiday, and you fix that up. Just like the Knicks should have kept KD, because he would have fixed everything up by getting KD. You have to wait with lost train of thought.
It's all good, but I mean they got a bunch of young players. Lakers arguably have the best package. I think they have the best package as well. But what do you think? Do you think the Celtics are going to include Jason Tatum in their offer? I think if they do, I think the Celtics have the better offer. Jason Tatum is probably the best prospect between the Lakers and Celtics offer. But the thing is, do they offer it? Do the Celtics offer it for a one-year rental, possibly?
Honestly, that could be true. I just feel like you gotta make the trade now. You gotta get Kuzma. Get what you can now, and just build. Just start right now. Because if you have AD, it's just gonna be a distraction for the team. You're not really getting anywhere.
Yeah.
Because AD's not gonna want to stay. You're just gonna piss him off even more. Yeah. And you're also going to devalue his trade value because the longer he's there, now
he's getting worse and worse.
Now the offseason, you trade him now. You have a season and a half to convince him to stay. But you wait till the offseason and now you trade him, you're going to get less offers because now he has a year left.
Yeah.
So that's my problem I have with that.
And to be honest, I don't even know what they're saying. The Pelicans are saying that they don't even like the Lakers offer. I don't understand. I love the Lakers offer. I mean, if I'm the Pelicans, I take that immediately. I heard something for Lonzo, Ingram, possibly Ingram. Ingram might be left out, but Lonzo, Ingram, Kuz, Rondo, and a few picks. I think that's a great thing. I mean, you're basically getting an entire rebuild with one player. I mean, I think the Pelicans at this point should tank. You tank to get a franchise player like Anthony Davis, but they messed up. They weren't able to make enough players around him. Whatever happened, happened. I think they have to go in the future. They have to tank for a little bit, get a few picks, and then I think they'll be a good team again.
Look, on a second thought, I see what you're saying. Maybe I would actually wait, just because you open yourself up to more offers. You wait now. Maybe you can trade Boston. Maybe you can trade to other teams. And other teams are going to take the risk. When you think about it. OKC did it with Paul George a couple seasons ago. The Raptors taking the L. Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
it's really a gamble. It's really, you really have to. It's really good for a team. If you're a team that like has nothing to lose, like you're in like a no-go zone, you have nothing to lose. That kind of team should definitely make that trade for Anthony Davis. I'm thinking about I'm thinking about the Portland Trailblazers.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm thinking about the Portland Trailblazers. Look, that 2012 draft. It was a rivalry between Anthony Davis and Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard got, he was Rookie of the Year, and they go back and look, most people say Anthony Davis is the better player now.
Which I would.
But if we actually look into winning, Damian Lillard has been more successful in his career.
Okay.
So, but I think pairing those two up together, I feel like they really complement each other's game.
I think they do.
You have Damian Lillard as the point guard, as a dominant ball handler, and then you can just pass to AD and get him hot. I would love to see that. And you probably have to trade CJ McCollum and a bunch of other players. It might not even work. The trade, it's probably a far-fetched idea, but that would just be one of my favorite dark horse teams to land Anthony Davis.
Yeah, my dark horse team for Anthony Davis is actually the Toronto Raptors. The Raptors. Now, hear me out on this, okay? The Raptors took a huge risk by trading away DeMar DeRozan for Kawhi because Kawhi is possibly a rental. Maybe he'll go to the Lakers next year. But I think teams that have an awesome, culture and an awesome front office, they're willing to take that risk because they say, yeah, you know what? I think you're going to like it here so much, you're going to want to stay. That's what OKC did. OKC, I think they have a good kind of culture around them.
Russell Westbrook.
People love Russell Westbrook. And I think same thing for the Raptors. I think they have a great organization. I think they should, try to go for it. Maybe trade Kyle Lowry or make some kind of trade together and then go because they're trying to win now. I mean, they have Kawhi right now, and if they only have a one-year window if he leaves, I say go all in. Go all in, maybe get a ring, and then who knows what happens. Maybe you have to tank after that, but it'll be all worth it for a ring.
That combination with Kawhi Leonard and Anthony Davis, that would be a formidable duo. It would be so fun to watch. That would be a great one. Okay, let's move on. I want to move on now to some because the NBA All-Star reserves were actually announced the other day.
Oh yeah.
So got a couple snubs for me. So I want to start with you. Which NBA player do you really feel like got snubbed and should be in the All-Star game but isn't?
Okay, great question. And I think this will be a somewhat unpopular opinion, but I think really Rudy Gobert deserves to be in there. Now Rudy Gobert's stats aren't amazing. If you look at the stat sheet, you don't think he's that good of a player. But if you look at his impact on the floor and his defensive impact, he's still arguably a top 3, top 5 defensive player in the entire game. He, by himself, makes the Jazz already an amazing team defensively, and without him, you could see their net rating go way off. I think he deserves it a lot. He generated, 6 or 7 screen assists per game just on his screens. So I think he got snubbed, and I think he deserves to be in. Who do you got as a snub?
Wait, before I go, I just want to respond to Rudy
sure.
Gobert because I do see what you're saying. Defensively, it's hard because this NBA, all coaches they always preach defense. Defense is that's a lot of the game. Especially when you're a really good team. There are a lot of really good teams, like offensive teams, but don't have that defense. And I feel like I see what you're saying. You have to reward defensive players, and it's very hard in today's game because NBA centers. That's really all they're really good for is defense. That's what coaches want to see. If you're good defense, you're good. That's how good you can be.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's not really recognized. For the All-Star game, it's tough because I don't know. In a way, I wish the All-Star format. I wish the formatting was different because right now you vote for starters. You have 2 guards, 3 forwards.
Yeah.
I feel like you should do 2 guards, 2 forwards, and a center because they have to reward that. Because now what's happening is you wonder why you hear stories about DeAndre Jordan trying to stat pad. Then you hear stories about Clint Capella trying to get a max contract.
Yeah.
Why do you think they do that? Why do you think they try and ask for a lot of money and they try and stat pad and do all that stuff? Because they want to get money. They want to be recognized as an all-star. Defense does not get recognized in today's NBA. It does not.
It doesn't. It's a shame.
He should be rewarded. He should be. I completely agree that Rudy Gobert. There's a lot of players. So because of that, I couldn't really root him in there.
It's hard. Yes,
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, defense is not as pretty. That's all.
All-Star game, you want to see high. You want to see really good offensive players. My All-Star game snub, it has to be Tobias Harris of the Los Angeles Clippers.
That's a good choice.
Listen, man, I feel like I'm upset because Tobias Harris is the kind of guy. He's very humble. He's not recognized that much. He's all for the team. He's not a selfish guy. He doesn't just stat pad and try and get all those kind of stats. He's very humble. He's a role model. He's a good person, and if you even look at his stats, averaging 22 points, and he's super efficient. Over 50% field goal percentage, shooting 43% from 3.
Yeah,
and the Clippers they're a surprise team this year.
Exactly.
So you have to reward someone from that Clippers team, and the fact that you reward, you don't give it to him, you give it to Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah,
that team's not that good.
Yeah,
and I feel like Karl-Anthony Towns to that team does not mean what Tobias Harris is to his team. Yeah. Tobias Harris is a leader on his team. Tobias Harris should be an all-star.
I agree with
I'm very upset about that. He should be recognized. He's underrated. He's too nice. He's too humble. And that's why he's not in. That's why Karl-Anthony Towns is in there, who has no business in being there over Tobias Harris.
Oh, let's not get carried away. Karl-Anthony Towns definitely deserves his spot as well, though.
I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. I think Tobias Harris deserves it more.
Oh, okay, that's pretty true.
Tobias Harris,
yeah, Tobias Harris, I mean, the thing is, he's quiet. Like you said, he's quiet. He doesn't, really make, news like that. So maybe that's partially why I think they're okay with snubbing him when, Karl-Anthony Towns gets a lot more media coverage. It's a shame, though.
Yeah, it's upsetting, because I really, Rudy Gobert, Tobias Harris, great players.
I actually wanted to ask what you thought, because I saw that Dwayne Wade and Dirk Nowitzki are actually going to be in the All-Star game as honorary players. What do you think about that?
I like it. I mean, you can't really hate it. Listen, I know it's not in the NBA Constitution, it's not in the rules, but come on, I'm a fan. I want to see Dwayne Wade and I want to see Dirk Nowitzki in the All-Star game.
Yeah.
It might be tough to try and figure out how that actually goes about. Maybe you have players older players apply, so you actually officialize that system. But I like what they did. It's good for the fans. It's good for entertainment. It's good for basketball. It's
fans want to see Dwayne Wade. They want to see Dirk one more time. I mean, who doesn't?
One last dance.
One last dance. Dwayne is still he's still got moves too. He's still pretty flashy. Did you think Vince Carter should have been in there too?
See, my thing was that Vince Carter, he's staying another year. He said he's going to actually stay another year. So that's why I believe the NBA didn't do that.
I agree. Yeah, I like it as a last tour kind of thing, and only for legendary players. I don't want this to be a regular thing, but I did like it. I thought it was a very nice kind of notion that they did. I think they should have added Dirk as in the 3-point contest as an honorary player.
They did that also, right?
Yeah, but they added him just in the player. They got snubbed for someone else, like Bertans Bones or something like that. The guy in the Spurs making like 40.
Well, I don't like that. If you're gonna do this, if you're gonna do this if you're gonna do all this All-Star Edition things, you can't. It's not this or for the sacrifice of cutting someone else who deserves it.
Yeah.
It's either you add these players for honorees, or if they're not there, nothing happens.
Yeah,
because it's not fair for someone like D'Angelo Russell, who got snubbed out of the All-Star game, or even Tobias Harris, or like you said, Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
The reason I didn't say D'Angelo Russell is because he's actually getting added in for Victor Oladipo. Otherwise, he would also be a huge snub for me, because the Brooklyn Nets, they've really been outperforming and really fulfilling. Really exceeding expectations. I mean, what are they?
I'm really happy he got there.
They're in the playoff seed. Like the Brooklyn Nets are like a top 5 seed in the East. No one saw it coming, and they're also a viable destination this year.
Yeah, exactly. And people think that the Nets were a joke, and then now look at them. Now people are actually taking them seriously. So, and Nets have been on a tear. So yeah, I totally agree. I'm happy for D-Lo actually. He's a good guy,
For sure.
Now you see the Lakers. They traded Julius Randle and D-Lo, and now they're both putting up huge numbers. I don't know if it says a lot. You gotta think about that.
Yeah, man. Okay, so. We're getting ready for my favorite segment of today. Actually, it's not what you're doing. I wish it was what you're doing. That's not it. It's actually trade machines. So basically how this works is, the NBA trade deadline is actually next week. So what I did was I went on this trade machine website, and I actually got to make some of my own trades. Some trades that I want to see go down in the NBA. Let's get started. Okay. So this first trade, I don't know if you see this one coming.
Okay. I haven't seen these, by the way.
So it's a simple one. This one, I feel like Mike Conley. The Memphis Grizzlies are trying to move Mike Conley to another team because the Memphis Grizzlies are really trying to rebuild this season.
They are. Well, I think they're trying to compete, but now they've failed.
They failed. They can't. They know that they cannot compete with top-tier teams like the Houston Rockets, the Golden State Warriors, even the Los Angeles Lakers. So what they're doing is they're trying to trade their veterans. And I'm going to help you out. I'm a consultant. I'm going to say, what, Memphis? I got you. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to trade Mike Conley to the Utah Jazz.
Oh, okay.
And we're going to get back Ricky Rubio and Dante Exum.
Oh.
And maybe perhaps a first rounder as well. Now, obviously from Utah's perspective, this is something you need to do because Utah is not a very attractable free agent destination. So you have to sort of trade for players when you're a small market team. And I feel like Mike Conley is a very underrated player. He's also very humble. He's won a bunch of Teammates of the Year awards.
Oh yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, I believe he's never gotten technical.
Oh yeah, I think
he's never gotten technical.
That or either 1 or 0.
So I feel like he'd be a really good addition to play alongside Donovan Mitchell. and Rudy Gobert and really help those young guys out. Because as a veteran, you know, Mike Conley knows a lot. You know, he's been in the playoffs a lot of years. He's been winning because the Memphis Grizzlies were a good team back in the day with their slow offense.
Yeah, with their slow offense. And they'll fit with the Jazz, the slow offense there. So I like that. I think that they got to always include 1 or 2 picks, though, just for that. Because I think that they want to rebuild. So I think that's a pretty interesting trade.
I agree. Yeah. All right, now for my second one.
Would be a good fit. Yeah, would be a good fit.
Let's see the second one we got here. This second one, okay.
Well, I see a lot of players on there.
Okay, so I was gonna say the trade right now.
Okay.
All right, before I go on, I want you guys to welcome. I got my boy Tyrone. Tyrone's coming in. We got a rival.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ballaholics.
Hey. Tyrone, we got something to go here.
Oh yeah.
So basically,
everybody.
All right. So basically, Tyrone, I don't know if you know. So, are you familiar with the NBA trade machine?
Am I familiar with the NBA trade machine? I am not. Want to explain it to me?
So here's how this works, bro. So basically, it's a website that actually allows you to, you know, make trades that you want to see happen in the NBA.
Gotcha.
So now we're on the next one. We're talking about. I'm looking at the Washington Wizards, and look, Bradley Beal. That you got John Wall, Bradley Beal, and Otto Porter. You know, but I feel like it's not working out there. You know, the Wizards are not a playoff team.
Yeah.
You might have to blow it up now. And so here's what I want to do.
All right.
I feel like I want to trade Bradley Beal to the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh, okay.
Get the Brooklyn Nets a star. And then trade away some young guys. Trade away Alan Crabb, Rondé Hollis Jefferson, Jared Allen, who's blocked many NBA stars, and Karis LeVert.
Wait. Do you think that's a good trade for both teams? You think that the Nets offloading more than half of their star talent is a good idea for both teams?
Star talent? The Nets don't have star. Okay. You
gotta put it in the context here. We're talking about a team that's squeaking its way in the playoffs for the first time in what I believe is 6 years.
It's been a while. Yeah.
They're good.
Who have at least as far as I want to call it, a solid core with D'Angelo Russell starting at point. You know, Joe Harris, Spencer Dinwiddie shooting guard. You know, having Rondé in there. Jared Allen, who is growing into very, very quality player.
He is.
You know, I really like the system they got going on there. And I feel like if at any point they pull the Knicks and get rid of their young talent, I don't know if it's going to go too well.
See, look, so I see what you're saying. Obviously, like, I feel like they still have D'Angelo Russell, they still have Spencer Dinwiddie, but I feel like you need that star in order to attract. If you want a superstar to come to Brooklyn, I feel like you need to have somewhat of a star already there. You can say D'Angelo Russell is that star already. I don't know. So what's your opinion on this?
Actually, my opinion is if I'm the Wizards, I don't do this trade. I think that they could actually get more from the Lakers or from other teams for Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal is a very hot commodity. You know, people really want him. They realize how good he is. All-star this year. I think that they could trade that for maybe more picks or from the Lakers or something like that. Or maybe they could get a quality player like another star player. So I would say no on the trade just from the Wizards' point of view.
Right.
Okay, so this next one's gonna blow. This next one's gonna blow your minds. Okay, you ready for this? I'm gonna say two words.
Oh.
The San Antonio Spurs and Anthony Davis.
That's one of the 2 words. That's one of the 2 words.
Oh, sure.
So basically, in this trade, the San Antonio Spurs acquire Anthony Davis from the New Orleans Pelicans and Solomon Hill for contract money.
Okay.
In exchange for LaMarcus Aldridge, Patty Mills, Lonnie Walker, who's a young player. Okay. Jadonte Murray, who's also a young talent. And this other guy, White. I feel like he starts from the same place. I actually know him too. So, Tyrone, I want to get your reaction on just trade.
Right. Well, I mean, look at this trade right now. It's another one of those, let's give a superstar for, I guess, in this case, 5 quality rotation players.
Except for
obviously they started in Aldridge, starter for starter, Davis for Aldridge. But do I think that the Pelicans would be willing... Oh, well, actually, let me reverse that. Do I think the Spurs would be willing to give up Patty Mills and Devontae Murray? I mean, Devontae Murray's out with an ACL tear. But 2 of their, basically their point guard rotation right there, Patty Mills and Devontae Murray. I mean, Brian Forbes has been playing. Brian Forbes has been starting. Do I think he should be starting? As far as I'm concerned right now, yes, because they're down a starting point guard in Murray, who was, as far as his rookie season's gone, his rookie season was great. Or, not, well, okay, his rookie season was average. But the year after that, he really picked it up in the shadow of Tony Parker, who has left for the the Charlotte Hornets.
So you're saying no to this trade?
I don't think this trade, no, I really am not a fan of this trade, because again, it's one of those trades
from Which from the San Antonio Spurs?
From the Spurs perspective, because I don't think that it's worth it for that team to blow up the roster just to secure Anthony Davis.
I want to hear your opinion on this.
All right, I think again, interesting trade. I actually think if I'm the Spurs, I like this trade. I think DeMar DeRozan, he's a good player, but he's not enough to take him to the contention by himself. I think they need an AD level player in order to make that happen. I think Aldridge is a great player. He fits really nicely in the Spurs system, but I think AD and Pop. I would love to see what Pop can do. They can maximize that. I think he'll get the most out of his defensive presence and his offensive. Obviously, he's an offensive juggernaut. I think that the Spurs take it. I don't think that the Pelicans would take it. Personally, I think the Pelicans again could get a better offer. But I mean, if I'm the Spurs, I'm taking that immediately. You know, and Pop even said, AD, don't go to the Lakers. He's trying to stop the Pelicans from getting. He's trying to stop the Lakers from getting AD, which I think is interesting.
What happens to your point guard rotation if you're the Spurs?
They might have to do another trade for that.
You sign some players. You sign some players. That's a fair move. But you get AD if you're San Antonio. And for me, like, to see Greg Popovich coach, you know, Anthony Davis, that would be. I would love to. I'd be dying to see that. And like, look. Anthony Davis says he's not going to play for any other team besides the Lakers. If there's any other team that he would play for, and he wants to see culture, and he wants winning because he hasn't got that in New Orleans, it is with the San Antonio Spurs and Greg Popovich. This is a trade that I would love to see from San Antonio's perspective. New Orleans, I'm not sure if they would be willing to do this trade. They could probably get more, but if, by doing this, you're actually not trading to the Lakers, and maybe you can get, you can snatch a couple of first-round picks in there.
Yeah, some picks might make this nice too.
Let's move on to this next trade I have. It's Anthony Davis again, but to a different team. And I want you guys know this one.
Oh, okay. What is it?
It's Anthony Davis to the Denver Nuggets.
Nuggets.
Yes,
man.
Anthony Davis to the Denver Nuggets in exchange for Paul Millsap, Jamal Murray, Trey Lyles, and Michael Porter Jr.
Wow.
Okay, this one's interesting.
Yeah.
But I'm looking. I look at this. Okay, if I'm going to be honest with you, I think your Spurs trade prediction is more realistic than this one. Because the Denver Nuggets are a team. What are they, second in the Western Conference right now?
Yeah.
A team that's been playing extremely well this year. It's a team that I'm surprised to see playing this well. Honestly, last year where they finished mid-playoff spot.
Yeah.
Star power Nikola Jokic. They have Jamal Murray who's playing really well this year. Paul Millsap's on the team putting in work. I feel like, honestly, looking at this and seeing them giving up Paul Millsap, Jamal Murray, and young guys like Mike Porter Jr. and Trey Lyles' quality off the bench for Anthony Davis and Solomon Hill, I mean, you're losing out on. I guess you're losing more than you're taking in at this point if you're the Denver Nuggets. You know what I'm saying?
So that's an interesting take. You know, if I'm the Denver Nuggets, this is a really hard trade because the thing is, you got to give up Jamal Murray. I think that's the hardest thing you have to leave with because I think Millsap, I think you could go with that. You know, I think his contract's not the best. It's okay, you know, but Jamal Murray is probably one of the best young players in the league right now. To be honest, this is a hard one. I think the Pelicans take this. I think they take this. Maybe they compete with the Lakers offer on this. I think Jamal Murray, probably better than anyone that the Lakers are going to offer. So if I'm the Pelicans, I'll take this. If I'm the Nuggets, I take this too, to be honest. Yeah. You know, I really do. I would love to see AD and Jokic together. I mean, I'm sad to see Jamal Murray leave. But, I mean, you just need any competent PG. And at that point, I mean, seeing the combination of Nikola Jokic, he's a great passing, you know. He's so great at passing. I think they'll find so many good looks for each other. I would love to see that chemistry. I think they're developing a nice, fun team.
See, for me, it's like, Denver Nuggets right now are the #1 team in the West. So I feel like their biggest criticism right now is, you see all these top-tier teams, like the Houston Rockets, they have James Harden, he's a top-tier player.
Right.
We look at the Los Angeles Lakers, they have LeBron James, he's another top-tier player. Golden State, they have a bunch of them, Steph Curry and Kevin Durant. So the Denver Nuggets, a lot of people say they don't have that top-tier player. If you make this trade, yes, you lose some depth, but then you have your top-tier player in Anthony Davis, which would actually make one of the best front courts, if not the best front court in the league.
And I mean, playoffs are all about, depth's not as important in the playoffs. It's all about your starting five. So, I mean, I personally like it for the Nuggets. I think it'll put them in that next tier.
Right.
And for this last trade, it's sort of the Denver Nuggets trade. It's very similar, only in this case, the New Orleans Pelicans, they don't get Jamal Murray. The Denver Nuggets actually keep Jamal Murray in this trade. So it's basically Anthony Davis. The Denver Nuggets receive Anthony Davis, Nikola Mirotic for Paul Millsap, Gary Harris, Trey Lyles, and Michael Porter Jr.
That's also interesting.
Is there anything different? You guys change it all?
I'll take this trade. I like this trade. I think it's a good one. Obviously, because the Denver Nuggets are not giving up Jamal Murray. I think he's essential to that starting five and the way that system works. Giving up Gary Harris, obviously, he's a great player. He fits in very well with this team. But I feel like it's a bit of an equal trade. 3 pieces from the Pelicans, 4 pieces from the Nuggets. You're giving up, 3 forwards for 3 forwards. Gary Harris just an add-in to entice them to give him Anthony Davis. If this theoretical trade honestly is good in my book, I would take it as a book team.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a pretty good trade as well. Again, I question if they could get more out of Anthony Davis, but I think they might be able to get more. Or it kind of depends on what they're looking for. If they want young picks, or if they want young players and picks, that's a different story. But I like this trade very much for the Nuggets, because they don't have to part with Jamal Murray, and that's probably the biggest difference.
Right.
And again, I haven't even really talked about the New Orleans Pelicans standpoint from this trade. You're getting some young players that you can work with and build around. Like Michael Porter Jr., he was like the #1 pick a couple years ago until he had all these injury problems.
Right.
You get him good, he could be a superstar. He has a lot of upside. He has a lot of injury issues, but a lot of upside there.
Right.
Trey Lyles, another young player. Gary Harris is another great solid young player. So I feel like this trade, it looks good on both sides. If I'm the Denver Nuggets, I'm gonna take it. And the New Orleans Pelicans, I'm gonna give it some good thought. Maybe I need another first-round draft pick.
Yeah.
And by doing this, also, it's like I'm not trading to the Lakers. So
exactly.
Yeah, which I feel like they don't want to do at this point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, guys. For our final segment of the day, you guys know what it is. It is the Super Bowl. So I need to get your guys' take. So we need some predictions of who's gonna win. I want to see which players in your mind are gonna take over this game.
Okay.
Who are we gonna be talking about? Sauce, you go first.
Okay, I'll start. I think the Patriots are going to win. I don't want the Rams to win because I'm still salty about that penalty call against the Saints-Rams game. Still salty about that. I haven't forgot about that. Jared Goff, I don't want him to win. I just don't want him to win. But Todd Gurley to the hand, I would like him to win. But I think Tom Brady, best quarterback of all time, most clutch quarterback of all time. I think he's going to show up again. Even last Super Bowl, he threw 500 yards, and people thought he was a choker. I think that Tom Brady's going to come up huge. That's an easy choice, but I think, Patriots always have some some unexpected kind of star talent that come out. Out of nowhere. Malcolm Butler. I think James White, that's who I'm looking at for this game. And, I think the Patriots are just too good when the game plan. I think they're too good between them and Belichick. So, Patriots are my team.
All right, Tyrone.
Honestly, if I'm going to first start off, I think I'm going to contradict what you're saying.
Okay.
The Rams on this one. I feel like it's about time. Look, obviously, the Patriots haven't won every Super Bowl, but they've won enough Super Bowls that I believe it's time for them to step down for a bit. For other teams, take the spotlight and do whatever. Should have Marshawn Lynch have ran the ball? Seahawks Patriots Super Bowl, yes, but what happened? Who cares? This year, though, I feel like one of the two guys will definitely make it work. Jared Goff, Todd Gurley on the Rams. There's two guys who part of their offensive powerhouse. The Patriots. Watching the Chiefs and Patriots game, very, very close.
That was a close one.
That was an amazing game. Obviously, there were some screw ups here and there, and players made some mental mistakes.
Yeah.
But from what I saw, both the Patriots and the Rams honestly don't have the greatest lines. And it could honestly come down to a run game. And I feel like Todd Gurley beats out the Patriots in that respect.
All right. For me, here's what I see. So I see a young team in the Los Angeles Rams. You got head coach Sean McVay. He's a very young coach.
Yeah.
Not a lot of experience in the Super Bowl. Jared Goff, again, this is his first time in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And now you're competing against head coach Bill Belichick. This is his 9th appearance. Tom Brady also 9th appearance. He actually has more appearances and a lot than every other NFL team besides the Patriots. And when I look at this game, Bill Belichick always takes away your best player, the best way for you to score. I feel like he's going to take away Todd Gurley. So he's going to pressure Jared Goff, the pass a lot, and try and get those wide receivers, So that's going to be interesting to see. The only time I really see the Patriots lose is when they, play against, experienced, well-polished veteran QBs like, Eli Manning, the Giants in 2008 and 2012, and then Nick Foles in 2018. I feel like the Patriots take this game. It's upsetting because I feel like the Rams are a more talented team. Running game, they're gonna be better defensively. Because they had Saw obviously and Aaron Donald. They're gonna be making it hard for Tom Brady. Then the Chiefs. The Chiefs really don't really have much defense. Julian Edelman's really clutch, and I feel like the Patriots have to win. Brady's gonna get a 6th ring tomorrow night.
All right. Well, with that, thanks guys for watching. Hopefully we get a good game tomorrow for the Super Bowl, and we'll catch you guys next time.
24-20, Patriots.